We made it to 100 episodes, and we have a special guest on this very special edition of the Seacoast Sports Forum. Bill Ball, head football coach and also the athletic director for Exeter High School, joins us. But before we go there, I just want to thank all of you who've hung in there with us over the past 100 episodes, thanks to those who are listening to our podcast. And now let's get down to the interview with Bill Ball. So for our 100th edition of the Seacoast Sports Forum, I wanted a special guest, and this man fits the bill. The head coach of the Exeter Blue Hawks and the athletic director for Exeter High School, Bill Ball. Thank you for joining us today.
Nice to be here, Sherm.
You know, you've had quite a career here at EHS. I want to start off by talking about the first championship game in 1997. We celebrated the 25th anniversary of this past season, with a bunch of the guys coming back at halftime on the field, and it was exciting to see those guys. It was hard to believe it was 32 years before that championship in 1997, and you're the man. You're the one that brought it to the Blue Hawk Nation. Talk about that. What's your memory of that first one?
Well, it was great. 97 team, and certainly there were really good teams that just missed. Unfortunate before that were deserving to be champions before I got here. And give credit to those guys. But that 97 team was special. I remember as eighth graders, I don't think they won a game. They came up. There was a band of them. Jamie Soller was our captain. We had a solid nucleus of seniors, a real core that get into the weight room and worked hard and did all those things you have to do. And we had a good junior class behind it. And that was a recipe for success. We got better. I remember we went up and we went to Trinity for the semifinal, and the field was a quagmire, to say the least, ankle deep in mud. And I can remember going out for warm-ups, and our guys embraced it. They jumped right into the mud, first play of the game, Matty Walsh took it off tackle on Brown Eye Right 28, untouched, and then that got us to the championship game. BG upset Dover in the semifinal, and we got to play at home, and that was quite a community event. It snowed the night before. You had all the dads, Steve Bartell and all those fathers, and Toby's, Barbados, Vosgians, all of them. I don't want to leave anybody out, but they all showed up with shovels, and it was awesome. They shoveled the field. It was a great game, a couple of big plays in that game, and we're able to get that title, which is being celebrated this year.
I wanted to just stay on that game for a minute. Going into halftime, BG pulled a big play, a hook and ladder play, to make it 16-7. Now, in the locker room, how did you keep those guys focused? Because obviously in the second half, they held the defense, and the offense was still clicking. What did you say to them at halftime to make sure they didn't just let off the gas?
Yeah, it was actually I remember that play. It was right in front of me, directly in front of me, and it was a kid named Boutwell that initiated that play as a receiver, and well executed. We played a really good first half. When you got guys in there that like Soller and that crew that he had with him, Ricka Collins, all those guys, James Roy, high character people. They tend to not fold when things are tough, and they didn't. They were resilient. They played a really good second half and able to secure that title.
And you also had some solid offense from Matty Walsh, as you mentioned, and also Scott Graham.
Scotty Graham caught a big pass for a touchdown. Scotty Graham was a gamer, as was his brother Nick, his twin. You had Kobzik, Gorski, Burbank in the secondary. They pinned him down early. Burbank made a big play in the goal line. It was a collective effort, from the front to the second level to the back end of the defense. It was really, really well done.
That was the first one, and I wouldn't ask you any, just like, what's your favorite child? But was that your favorite victory or championship?
I really don't. I try not to do that because it would maybe lessen, the 2011 or the 2012 team. I'll say this, that team set the standard. I mean, we were, our first couple of years, we were 3-5. Then we kind of broke through in '96. We got to the championship game at Dover, lost 21-7. But you could feel the tide turn. And the other thing is, during that time, we lost, it's 27 years ago, but we lost Captain-elect David Kugel, passed away unexpectedly at the high school, and that was a tremendous loss for us as a program. And we tried to reset a little bit mentally and played in honor of him. We still play in honor of him. We tap his number every time we leave the locker room, right down the hallway here today. And so that was it was a tough time, but there was a lot of maturing and a lot of maturation going on, and with coaches and players.
And it also started off the big rivalry. Now, our natural rivals here at Exeter High School, Winnicott Warriors in Hampton, but the BG Cardinals became a real go-to game, and we were back-to-back. We went after them the next season and became champions again for the second time.
Yeah, we did, and that was the overtime game where Matty Walsh took it off tackle in the overtime, 2017. Yeah, that was a great game. They were really good team. We had an inspired effort, great effort, and that's how that whole BG Exeter thing was really ramped up. I think, during that span we played them 6 times for the championship, 6 times, and it was feisty.
Yeah, to say the least. I was there for all those, and they were real slobber knockers, to use a wrestling phrase. So over the years and through all the championships and all the seasons, how have you changed, or has your coaching style changed at all?
Yeah, I mean, 45 years, the whole, everything's changed a little bit. We've remained pretty steadfast on the field. We do our due diligence in the off season with conditioning and all that, but we also, as a staff, we do a lot of professional development. We visit college staffs, talk to college people, continually try to get better on that side of it, and that's worked well. But there's no question that, the student athlete has changed. The whole social media thing is different today. It's something that can be very positive and something that can be detrimental. So we're constantly trying to teach about that, and it's different. The one thing I've always prided myself on is being able to connect with the kids, and there's one strength there from '78 to to today. I've done that, and trust me, I've made my mistakes. And there's situations I would love to have back, but you learn. Coaches learn, players learn.
Over the years, you've stressed, as far as the gameplay, defense, and offense is important. Obviously, you got to put points on the board, but being able to defend and going back to that championship season in '97 and through the years. I mean, we have been, I don't want to say we, but the Blue Hawks have been a team that keeps the score as low as you possibly can on there's the other guy's side, and it's worked obviously in our favor. Is there a secret sauce to that?
Well, you know, I mean, everybody talks about it. The Patriots talk about it. Everybody talks about complementary football. That you want your offense to help your defense to help your offense, and you have to have good special teams. During all those years, we had outstanding kickers, really good kickers. Some going on to the collegiate level, but there's no question that our emphasis when we come in on Sunday mornings is on the defensive side of the ball. We game plan that, then we game plan on Mondays for offense. But again, to be able to control the ball and keep it out of your opponent's hands, less opportunities them, more opportunities for you, play the field position game, and that formula has served us well.
And the only other thing I was going to bring up about the current state of football, from what I'm seeing, is it tends to be more flash and dazzle, a lot of long throws. The key is on offense, and a lot of these teams we've been playing, you haven't reacted to that and said, hey, we're going to start doing that.
Yeah, we probably threw the ball more this year with Evan Pafford than we have in a long time, maybe the most. Great decision maker on the edge, threw the ball in that Timberlane game 16 times, 11 for 16. But, you know, it's true. The spread game, everybody's running 2x2, 3x1, quads, no backs, empty sets. And that's, to be honest with you, we spend a lot of our off season getting ready to defend that. When we go up to UNH or we go up to Dartmouth or a place like that to visit staffs, we're talking about ways that they're doing that all the time, and that's important. My feeling has always been, you know, you want to be a little bit different, and today we're different because most weeks you have 3 days to prepare for somebody, except for the opener. So you have Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday work days to get ready, and I believe that what we do offensively is such an aberration that it's difficult to get ready for in 3 days. Mm-hmm. So,
you've got a great complimentary staff that's been with you for years on the football field, and I just want to run some names by you. I want to start off with the fellow that you were part of his staff, and that's Dick Eustace.
Mm.
Tell me something about that.
Yeah, my best friend. Dick brought me along in 78, 79. If there's one person responsible for any success that I have, it's him. Tremendous mentor, great guy, great with kids. Always had that intangible thing about him that he was really good with young people, and he continues to be a great friend.
And two guys that have been on the sidelines with you and still are there, Skip Swuzinski and of course, Bill Callahan. Tell me about those two guys.
Yeah, two outstanding coaches. Cal's been with me since, I want to say, back in 1980. It was myself, Cal, Marty Parks, and JoJo Scammon coaching freshman football. I think it was Danny McDougal's team. Back, 40-something years ago. And Cal's been steadfast and loyal since that day, does a great job. And, Skip came here. He was a friend. He came back to his alma mater. He's been incredibly helpful, offensive line coach, second to none in the state. And, again, really good sounding board. Solid guy. Has helped at all the programs, not just the football, but he's a guy that's always around and supporting young people.
And his brother Jack is with you on the team now, but I want you to tell me something about Carl Robertson.
Carl was the guy. I mean, Carl started over at Woodbury High School in Salem, back with Dick Eustace back in the 60s. He came over when Dick came over in the late 60s and put 50 years in coaching high school football. And his loss was a blow to not only the greater SAU 16 communities, but it was an incredible loss for us as a football staff. There was nobody more loyal than Kyle, and had a great way with kids. Loved to deal one-on-one with young people and help them if they had issues, even if they didn't have issues, to build them back up. And just think of Kyle all the time.
I loved when we'd go to the football banquets and he'd come dressed. He was proud of his Scottish heritage. He'd come in with the full kilt and the sporran and the whole 9 yards, even the dagger and the sock.
No question. And you know, I think it was really special for Kyle to have his brother Jack join the staff, and he got to coach with Jack for a good amount of years. And I think Kyle took great pride in that. His younger brother, who Jack's been a terrific, addition to our staff. He's a guy that's a former superintendent of schools, great athlete for Dick Eustace at Salem back in the day. Accomplished educator, terrific coach. So the Robinson legacy still lives.
And I would be remiss if I don't ask you about one of our partners here on the Seacoast Sports Forum, Coach Bill Taylor. Tell me something about Bill. Inside skinny.
Love Coach T. He and I worked back in the day. When we started out, we did the freshmen too, so we would be out there for double sessions, 9 to 11, 11 to 1, 2 to 4, and we legitimately had fun with it. He was great. My experience with Bill goes back to basketball, being his assistant for a long time, and you're not going to meet a guy that's more loyal and really smart guy, as you guys know. He's intelligent, always had good perspective in basketball, great defensive coach, and in football did a really good job with our offensive and defensive lines. But again, his ability to communicate was really special.
What coach had the biggest influence on you as an athlete? And then I'll part two of that question would be in your coaching styles.
Yeah, I'd go back to my high school football coach, Joe Hogue, guy that coached at Taunton, Mass, Natick, Mass, and then ended his career at Melrose High School. He had an incredible impact. It's the reason I want to get into teaching and coaching. Stern disciplinarian, played at Colgate, Hall of Honor at Colgate University, played for the Pittsburgh Steelers back in the day. Immeasurable amount of respect for him and the impact he had on my life and many others.
And what about anybody that was a mentor in your coaching style?
Yeah, obviously I got a lot from Dick Eustace. I did, but if you go outside the Blue Hawk family, there's a lot of people, that I've looked at, with great esteem and admiration. And I think probably at the top of that list would be Chuck Lenahan. What he accomplished up in Plymouth is, not to be equaled. And always enjoyed touching base with him and talking football with him. Similar philosophies and solid programs.
You and Brian O'Reilly from Pinkerton are the, I'll put it politely, senior statesmen when it comes to coaching in here in the state of New Hampshire, in the Granite State. So, beside Brian, are there any other coaches that over the years you said, hey, I like his style, or he's going to be a real challenge for me?
Yeah, I think that, Brian and I always kid about that, and he's always giving me a hard time, and I'm giving him one right back about when. But yeah, when I look at coaches in the state and even around the Seacoast area, I'll give you an example of a guy like Kevin Fitzgerald out of Timberlane. Young guy, went through some tough years early on, and withstood the storm, and Now he's got a successful program and a pretty good resume ahead of him. He's a young guy that he did it the right way all the way through. You can tell he's great with kids, and a lot of respect for both Kevin and his staff.
Over the years at Exeter High School, the Blue Hawk Nation is a program. It doesn't matter what sport, but we'll stick with football. In your case, you've seen a lot of these student athletes go on to college and be successful, go on in life and be successful. That's probably the most important thing. But and a few have even gone on to the pros. I guess what my question would be is, what would you tell a student athlete? What should he or she focus on if they want to take it to the next level?
Yeah, it's a commitment, and you can go from, I can go from collegiately and talk about the Barbados. There were scholarship guys up at UNH with Stevie Kobzik, Pat Nolan, Colgate captain. Obviously, what Hunter accomplished is incredible with Boston College and in the Miami Dolphins. Brad Kelly, Division I guy at West Point. I mean, what better honor do you have than playing for West Point? You don't. And I would say the focus always is academics. Yeah, if you put academics first and you develop that work ethic in the classroom, that's a carryover, usually a carryover to athletics. Now, in today's world, you've got to work on your speed, your agility, and your strength. The weight room is a busy place in any successful program. And set your goals. Some kids may want to play Division III, some Division II. Some might want to have aspirations like Hunter did to get to the NFL, which he did. Some may want a military career like Brad Kelly. West Point, watched him play in the Army-Navy game. It was awesome. So a lot of different experiences, a lot of different kids. A lot of these guys have gone on to coaching. A lot of our guys, a ton of them are coaching. Andrew Cookish is out at Columbia as a defensive backfield coach. Colin McQueen's doing a terrific job down in Amesbury High School. You name Brian Barbados out at Deerfield, Brent Barbados out at Salisbury School. And there's more. Luke Boria down at Governors. There's a ton of our guys coaching, which makes me, and never mind our own staff with our crew, with all former Blue Hawks. And those guys are instrumental because they know the way we like to do things.
I was going to ask you about a legacy, but there again, you just hit it on the head. These guys going on and doing their thing and helping another generation of student athletes succeed and get a good grounding and succeeding in life. That's the most important thing.
That's by far the most important thing, and to have those guys come back and be a part of our staff. And if you think about the former Blue Hawks on our staff, and I'll probably miss one, but I'm going to go with Billy Callahan, Skip Swazinski, Pat Murphy, Justin York. Let me keep going here. I'll miss somebody, but those guys have been on our staff, and if I missed anybody, I apologize. But those guys are back here working with us, so it's been great.
I'm not trying to push you out the door, but I got to ask you, do you see a day when you're going to be handing over the reins of the program? And you're also athletic director here at Exeter High School. You see that coming in? If it is, will it be difficult for you?
I think it'll be extremely difficult, to be honest with you. I don't really think about it very much. I kind of go day to day. I'll be in the weight room today at 3:30, and then be at hockey and wrestling tonight. So those are long days, but it's it's not exactly like we're breaking bricks.
Well, I was going to ask you about that. Now, your wife Lori, she's for how many years now? She's dealt with the fact that you're dedicated to this program, to the Exeter High School program, and the demands of coaching, and not just football, but you're also with a unified program, and you've done basketball in the past, and it's 24/7, 365, right?
We're going even when you're on vacation. You're going, but she's been terrific. Obviously, I love her to death, and she's been my biggest supporter, and she has her opinions on retirement too, which differ from mine sometimes. But she's been incredible, and she's so low key about it, and goes about her day and what she does, and she's found pickleball, so that's a good thing.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
And how are the kids doing? You have a family of your own, so I'm just going to ask how the kids are doing.
Kids are doing great. Billy's and his wife Marianne and 2 kids are out down in the Luna Shafee School down in Connecticut. Billy's in admissions, working in admissions and head lacrosse coach down there. And Patty's out in Moreland Hills, Ohio with her family, 2 young guys running around and hockey players.
There you go.
And he's doing well, both doing well. And the grandchildren are great. And Billy's kids, Will and Al, are at that, that age, 4 and 7, and Patty's kids are basically the same age, so it's fun to go see them.
Grandpa.
Yeah, probably.
I got 10, so
Yeah,
I got you outnumbered at this point.
4 is great.
Well, I want to thank you, all of us, not only just here at the Seacoast Sports Forum, but all the parents and students and student athletes of Blue Hawk Nation for all you've given to the program and to the high school over these past umpteen years. And I just wanted to really thank you for being part of our special 100th episode.
Appreciate that, and appreciate what you people are doing and bringing this to the public. And just close by saying that I think I've received a lot more than I've given. So I've been blessed to be here, and it's a wonderful school system with communities, SAU 16 people, and like I said, I've been blessed to be here.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Stay well.
Okay.
Thank you again to a very special guest, Exeter High School Hall of Fame coach, Bill Ball, joining us for this 100th edition of the Seacoast Sports Forum. And I want to make a special dedication of this program to my Uncle Phil Schneider, one of the greatest generation, who also made it to 100 as well. Fair skies and following winds, Uncle Phil. You can listen to the Seacoast Sports Forum on your favorite podcast platform. And don't forget to watch the episodes of the Seacoast Sports Forum on our Seacoast Sports Forum YouTube page. And when you're there, hit the bell to subscribe and like us. And if you have any sports photos or game videos you'd like to send us or comments, seacoastsportsforum@yahoo.com. This is Sherm Chester inviting you to join us for the next edition of the Seacoast Sports Forum.